The vengeful spirit, a town's worst nightmare. The curse begins. Some towns have secrets, some towns have ghosts, and some have something much, much worse. This is the terrifying story of a spirit seeking revenge. A town that thought they could erase the past, and the victims who never saw her coming. The nightmare begins. In the town of Black Hollow, no one spoke about what happened 50 years ago. It was a ghost story parents used to scare their kids. A legend that felt distant, unreal, but legends are built on truth. Eliza Monroe and her younger sister Claire lived in a small house at the edge of town. They were quiet, kept to themselves, but the town whispered. Eliza was different. She knew things, saw things. People called her a witch. Then one night, Claire went missing, and the town blamed Eliza. No trial, no evidence, just fear. Just rumors. They dragged Eliza to the woods, tied her to a tree, and burned her alive. Her screams echoed through the forest. Her final words, "You will all burn with me." The fire blazed high, and then a sudden gust of wind extinguished the flames. The people swore for just a second. Eliza was gone. Not dead, just gone. The town tried to forget, but some things never die. The first death. It started with Sheriff Thomas Whitaker, the man who led the charge against Eliza. One night, alone in his house, he heard a knock. Not a normal knock, slow, hollow, like bone against wood. He peeked through the window. Nothing. Then bang! The door flew open on its own. The air turned freezing. Then, a whisper. "Do you remember me?" His breath caught in his throat. The room was empty. Then, the lights flickered, and standing in the shadows was her. Eliza. Her skin was blackened, her eyes hollow pits of darkness. She smiled. The next morning, Thomas was found in his home, his body burned beyond recognition, and on the wall, written in ash, "One down." The hunt continues. At first, the town thought it was a coincidence, a tragic accident, but then more people started dying, each one connected to that night 50 years ago. One by one, they vanished. And each time, a new message appeared, scrawled in soot and blood. 2 down, 3 down. The town was trapped in fear. No one went outside at night. Doors were bolted shut. But it didn't matter, because she always found them. A night of terror. Maggie Carter was the last surviving witness. A young girl when Eliza was burned, now an old woman with trembling hands and a guilty conscience. She knew the truth. She knew Eliza was innocent. And now, she knew she was next. The night Maggie died, she was found in her bedroom, the walls covered in ash, and one last message, written in her own shaking hand, "Forgive me." Then, the death stopped. Eliza's vengeance was complete, or so the town thought. The legend never dies. Years passed, the town healed, people forgot, but one night, a young girl was walking home. She took a shortcut through the woods, and as she passed an old blackened tree, she heard a whisper. "Where is my sister?" The wind blew harder, the leaves rustled, and in the shadows, she swore she saw a woman, standing perfectly still, watching, her eyes burning with rage, because vengeance never truly rests, and neither does Eliza. The night of no escape. As Halloween approached, strange things began happening again. A boy went missing, a house burned down, people reported seeing a woman in the woods. The sheriff's department refused to investigate. Then, the lights in town flickered. A thick fog rolled in, and then the knocks started again. Every house, every door. Knock, knock, knock. Some opened the door, none of them were seen again. The final stand. A group of teenagers refused to hide. They searched the woods, determined to end the legend. They found the burned tree. They dug beneath it. And there, they found Claire's body. She had never run away. She had never disappeared. She had been murdered and buried alive. The town had killed the wrong sister, and now Eliza knew the truth. The end? That night, the town burned. People ran screaming into the woods, but the fog swallowed them whole. The ground shook, and then silence. By morning, the town was gone. Where houses once stood, only ash remained, and in the center of town, a single message burned into the earth: justice. The curse lives on. Years later, a group of urban explorers returned to the ruins. They laughed at the legend, filmed themselves mocking Eliza. That night, one by one, they vanished, and in the morning, a new message appeared. One down. The legend never dies. And if you hear a knock at your door, don't open it. That was the terrifying urban legend of Eliza Monroe. But now, I want to hear from you. Do you believe vengeful spirits exist? And if your town had a dark past, would you want to know? Let me know in the comments below. And if you made it to the end, type justice. Let's see how many of you would have survived this curse. And if you love horror stories, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more terrifying tales, and turn on notifications, because sometimes the past refuses to stay buried.